Hi, I'm Steve Horseman with Springfield Armory. What I'm going to show you all today is how to disassemble, clean, lubricate, and reassemble your M1A rifle. Basic maintenance on the M1A rifle does not require you to take the barreled action and trigger guard out of the stock. You really only want to do that, once a year, or if you drop it in a puddle of water, it gets really wet, or you've shot, 600-800 rounds through it. Then a detailed strip would be in order. Take a look at your owner's manual. It tells you how to do that. So what I'm going to show you today is how to do a basic cleaning of your M1A rifle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ensure the gun is empty. So I've got the safety on there. I'm going to lock the bolt back, okay, and I'm going to physically and visually check to make sure there's no magazine or no ammunition in the gun, which I can see that it isn't. So from there, one of the biggest things I really work on is I'll take some Q-tips, or I'll take some rags or some patches, and I will get any of the old grease in my bolt lugs out of there, because it's going to get some fouling and some dirt and some gunpowder residue. Q-tips are great for that, okay? There's that side, okay? You're going to want to get this little area right up here where your bolt locks into place. That'll have some grease on it. Get any residual grease off of those rails and that locking lug. Same thing with the bolt. If you let the bolt go forward, okay, wipe off any residual grease off those bolt locking lugs, and you should be good to go. Also, you see this groove where your op rod goes back and forth, where the charging handle is. Same deal. You want to clean all this off, because that'll pick up some dirt and dust and some gunpowder residue, that sort of thing. Clean that up really nice. Okay, so from there, what I'll do is I'll lock the bolt back open again. Okay, I will turn the gun around, okay, because this is one of the few rifles that you actually clean from the muzzle end, okay? And depending on how much ammo you shot through the gun will determine how much cleaning is going to be required to get your barrel clean. So with that being said, I'm going to use an appropriate length rod to clean the barrel. So I'm going to usually use a bronze brush or a nylon brush to clean and loosen up any fouling that's inside the barrel. I'm going to run this through all the way to the chamber. But remember, guys, you don't want to push this rod too hard through the barrel and have it strike and hit the breech face of the bolt, because that could actually get the bolt to release. So pay attention to that. So I'll run that brush through the barrel 5, 6, 7, 8 times, 10 times, whatever, to loosen up some of that fouling. So from there, once I'm done, okay, with the brush, I'll put a jag or a patch puller, whatever you like, on the cleaning rod, and I'll put some sort of bore solvent, CLP, whatever the case may be, through the barrel, okay? And in this case, I'm going to use this CLP, put a couple of drops on there to get that in there to loosen up some more of that fouling and collect the fouling and debris. I'm going to run it through the barrel. Again, pay attention, be careful, push it all the way through, pull it back as many times as you need to. Once you've got most of the fouling out, the patch comes out clean, or it's clean to your liking, for lack of a better term, you're going to run a clean dry patch through the barrel, okay? And to get out any of that residual bore solvent that you use. Once the patch comes out clean to your satisfaction, the barrel's clean. Now, depending on where you live, if you live in a high humid area, you might, and if the gun's going to be stored for a little while, you might want to put some more preservative inside the barrel. If you live out in a dry climate, you can leave the barrel without any solvent or oil in it, okay? But if you do leave some solvent or oil in it, please be sure to run a couple patches through there before you go and shoot it the next time, okay? So from there, the barrel is going to be relatively clean, all right? Now, when I bring the gun back around to clean the chamber, what I want to do is, if you don't have a specific chamber tool, cleaning tool, usually what I'll do is I'll put an oversized patch through the patch puller, okay? And I'll take the gun back around, all right? And I'll get a big patch, but I'll do is I'll run the rod with the patch puller through it, okay, without a patch on it. And then I'll get the biggest patch I have, I'll run it through the patch puller to, what I want to do is I want to kind of clean that chamber area, okay? Like I said, there's some specific aftermarket tools, and Springfield Armory sells a chamber cleaning brush that you can pick up. Just check it out. It's on the website at springfield-armory.com. But in the meantime, put a little solvent on this thing, this patch. All right. and then I'll pull it back into the chamber and I'll spin my brush and pull that back and forth. You'll feel some resistance and just pull it back and forth and clean that thing until the patch comes out clean. Okay, like you see, there's a little bit of dirt on there. So bringing the gun around again, okay, what I do want to do is I want to take some Q-tips and some rags, but I want to clean the bolt face, okay, right there. If you've got a lot of residue in there or fouling, you want to use a little brush. Be careful not to unlock the bolt, okay? Use your brush to get some of that fouling off and wipe off any of the loose fouling with a Q-tip. I like using Q-tips for stuff like this, okay? And then again, so now everything you should have, any old grease, any residual grease should be off of the gun, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put grease into these rails right here, okay? This rail is where your bolt goes back and forth, and this is where your op rod or your charging handle go back and forth. So there is actual metal to metal contact. So this area here and this area here is where I want to use some grease. Put a nice healthy coat in there. Also, you want to put a little bit right in there, okay? Because your bolt's going to rock back and forth and lock in, especially on that lug right there, okay? So from there, now the last thing I'm going to do for routine maintenance is I'm going to clean the gas plug, okay? So I can let the bolt go forward so it doesn't slam and surprise me, okay? Bring the rifle around, okay? For demonstration purposes, I've already pre-loosened my gas plug, so it shouldn't be hand tight. It should be relatively tight. Once you get that loosened up, unscrew your gas plug. All right, inspect that, wipe anything off. Okay, this one looks to be in pretty good shape. All right, I have to turn the rifle muzzle down and kind of tap it to get my gas piston out. In this case, the gun is really clean already, so the gas piston came right out. From there, I will take a rag and wipe off. You're going to have some carbon buildup on this gas piston, okay? Wipe as much of it off as you can. One of the things that I find that's really good that doesn't damage us is if you're at the grocery store, you can find those green Scotch-Brite pads. Not the steel wool kind of pads, but the Scotch-Brite green one. That's really good for getting some of that carbon buildup, okay? And you'll notice that these have these grooves, same thing. If you have any grooves in there, you can use that and it'll take most of that stuff off, okay? Inspect your piston to make sure it's in good shape. What you want is you want the flat and that hole to be straight up facing your barrel. So when you drop it in, it should just drop in nicely, and then go ahead and put your plug back in. If your plug doesn't start threading in, you know the piston is not correct. And in this case, I got it the first try. I go ahead and thread my plug back on using the appropriate size wrench, make it nice and snug, and your gun is back together after routine maintenance. From here, take it back out to the range and or put in storage. So there you have it. That's routine maintenance on your M1A rifle. There is no reason to repeatedly take the barreled action or the trigger assembly out of the stock. Once a year maybe, or after 600, 700, 800 rounds, that kind of thing. Or if it gets excessively wet or gets dropped in a puddle, for example. Otherwise, clean the barrel, clean the chamber, put on new grease on the lugs, and clean your gas piston, and you're ready to rock. For more information, consult your M1A owner's manual, or you can check out springfield-armory.com.